So I had a pretty great story from the night. A gentleman came through that I talked to last night for probably 10 minutes. And I'll tell his whole story later, but he came through and he goes, "Hey, you're still out here?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm still out here ringing." So when he came back out of Giant Eagle, he goes, "I want you to have a Merry Christmas." And he gave me 5 scratch-off lottery tickets. So I'm going to scratch them off, I think, and splice them. I'll make a video when I scratch them off and splice them together with this one and tell the whole story about what I talked to him last night about. So it was actually pretty cool. All right, so these are the 5 lottery tickets that the guy dropped off for me tonight. And it's kind of a funny story because yesterday I saw him walking across the parking lot and he had a pair of like hip waders on, and he was covered in mud from the knee down. And he was probably about my age, I bet. He was in his probably mid 40s. And you could just tell he was, a working man. And he walks by and I go, "Hey." And he looked over at me. I go, "Hey." And I saw him get out of like a really expensive truck. I go, "What do you do for a living where you're covered in that much mud and you're driving that truck?" And he goes, "I'll tell you what, buddy. I own a sewer company." And he proceeded to tell me that he goes, I go, "So what were you doing all day in the mud?" And he goes, "Well, it's not mud on my boots, it's shit." He's like, "I was in knee-deep shit all day." And so I just started talking to him, and it was like the best, probably 10-minute conversation I've had in a long time. And he was so funny. And so anyways, I got his name and stuff, and I said, "Well, hey, man, I appreciate it." And he came out, and he put a couple bucks in the kettle and stuff. And but I remember his name was Steve, like Schultz or Schwartz or something like that. And so tonight, before the kettle even got out there, he was walking across the parking lot again, and he saw me standing there, and he comes over to me, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Oh, I'm loitering." And he goes, "No, you're not." And I go, "Well, I'm waiting for the Salvation Army guy to drop off the kettle." And he's like, "Well, good for you, man." He's like, I had a good time talking to you yesterday, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, "Well, all right, man, good night." And he walks into Giant Eagle and stuff. And about that time, the Salvation Army guy showed up with the kettle and stuff. And I got all set up and stuff and started ringing. And it was probably like 5 minutes later, he comes walking out and he had a handful of lottery tickets, and he walks over to me and he hands them to me. I'm like, "Ooh, like, what do you want me to do with these?" He's like, "No, he goes, "This is your Christmas present." I'm like, "For who?" He goes, "For you." And I was like, "Oh, dude, that is so awesome." So here they are. These are my 5 Christmas presents from him. It was just such a great story. And I was like, "Well, hey, man, whatever I get out of these things, I'm putting at least half back into the kettle." He goes, "Do whatever you want, buddy, but have a Merry Christmas." And he just walked away. So it was a really nice story. So I'm gonna scratch these off. I wish I had a way to do like a live stream where I could just scratch them off one at a time here, and have everybody watch them be scratched off live. But I'll make another video here as soon as I scratch. Maybe one at a time. I'll make it like a quick video. All right. So the first ticket was a non-winner, but the second ticket was a $10 winner. That's a pretty good return on investment for a $1 ticket. $10. Woo! All right, here comes the third ticket here. I wish I could scratch these off I could hold the camera here, but I don't have 6 arms. So number 3 is a $3 winner. So I'm up to $13. That's awesome. All right, here's number 4 and 5. Let's see what these two do. All right, number 4 is a dud. We're gonna check number 5 here. That's next. All right, lucky number 5. Here we go. Here we go. Lucky number 5. Here we go. Right, so number 5 was a dud, but between these two, I won $13. $13. That's so awesome. That is just fantastic. $13. Well, I'm gonna hedge my bet and probably roll these back into $13 worth of tickets tomorrow.